teased a bit of a video yesterday about saving a few people's lives, so I thought I'd go through it now. So like obviously they weren't dead and I didn't resuscitate them, so I didn't actually save or bring them back to life, but I'm pretty sure they would have been dead or fucking very close to it. So the first one was in Greece. I was doing my dive master certification. So if you don't know, dive master is one of the PADI certifications. So you start with open water, advanced, rescue, and then when you go to dive master is like the more sort of commercial avenue towards going towards an instructor. So it's one below an instructor or assistant instructor, then instructor. So two below an instructor, and you've got to do around 100 dives for it. You've got to do lots of different types of dives, like deep dive, drift dive, nitrox dive. Nitrox is a different air mix. So with a different air mix, it means you can stay down for longer at certain depths. This particular dive, I was not leading the group, but I was there as the dive master of the group to help out because it was quite a large group. Can't actually remember, but I think it's 4 per instructor you can have with you. Don't quote me on that though. And then we're going down to this wreck. So we drove down to the wreck as we were in Greece. It was our day off, and there was quite a lot of us. And one of the guys there was called Eugene. I think it was a Jewish businessman from the States. Proper geezer, used to have a duffel bag full of cash, big gold crucifix chain, real tanned, smoked tons of ciggies, proper like gangsterish geezer, and he hadn't been diving in years. And he was, you know, we were good pals, we got on for the week, so he wanted to go diving. And then as we get to the wreck, we go to drop down into the wreck. I think it was about 40 meters deep. It was a nitrox dive as well, and we probably get maybe 10-15 meters down, and the instructor fucking I wasn't meant to be buddied with Gene. I can't remember who I was meant to be buddied with, but I should have been a bit more observant anyway, I guess, in hindsight. But then Dan, Disco Dan, the diving instructor, looks at me and fucking signals that Gene isn't there. So I'm like, oh shit, where the hell is Gene? Bearing in mind this guy's like 60, bit overweight, beer belly, smoked tons of cigs, like he's not that fit. Obviously like was medically fit to dive, but like just didn't have it in him to actually fulfill it. So having a look up, I'm looking around, it's actually quite choppy up top as well, like the weather conditions weren't perfect. Obviously when you're underneath the water it's completely different, you can see a lot, and then the weather conditions above don't actually affect you. So I go down, I'm looking around, I'm like, okay, this is going to get serious if I can't find him. And then I see him in the distance. It looked like, you know, very far away. In hindsight, it's probably 100 meters away or so. So I surfaced. Luckily, I've only just gone down, so I don't need to do any like safety stops. Pop my head up and I just see this fucking guy drifting off into the distance. The boat hasn't seen him, no one's seen him ashore, and he's just like turning into a speck. So yeah, basically I go with that, I just charge, boom, 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 couple minutes, with the wind as well. So he was going with the wind and the waves, and he was getting swept, not like offshore, but it was like cross offshore. So he was gonna be going out into the middle of the Med essentially, because we were in Greece, so it's obviously the Mediterranean. This was in the island of Rhodes. So you know, the water's still warm, but like it was getting towards the end of the year and the water's getting a little bit cold. He's got a wetsuit on, he's got his BCD on, but like still going to be taking in water because he's not that experienced. Then from there, got to him, chatted to him, he was actually alright. I was kind of surprised how alright he was. But then when I look back, again, the boat still hadn't seen me. Obviously everyone's out there still diving, and I'm like, cool, I've got like a 600-800 meter swim probably. And this is why you do all of the other courses, especially the rescue, because you practice a lot of safety swims. So when you're safety swim, basically turn them onto their back, inflate their BCD. If they can, you ask them to kick, and then you put your fingers around the top of the tank, link it, that's what I do anyway, and then kick and swim. It took ages, I was knackered. Obviously he could help me a little bit, but he was pretty done and he wasn't exactly wanting to do much kicking. But finally we got back to the boat, he dragged into the boat, he got pulled in the boat. I actually waited, and then I went back down for another dive. But after it, he was like, holy fuck, Connor, you just saved my life, I was done. So whether or not he would have died, I don't know. But it was a life or death situation. So that's number one. He actually gave me some cash because he was so grateful. It wasn't as much as you would have thought the value of his life was worth. But anyway, so that was number one. The number two was in Greece as well. this was probably my most fun one. It was a storm day. It was on my first season in Greece, quite early on, but like I was quite into the water sports stuff, and I really enjoyed actually like running the beach. Got quite good at it, I think, as well. And the whole operation, like the operation side of things, is something I've been good at a lot. So yeah, anyway, so when it's really windy, you've got this massive bay. When it's really windy, there's a storm coming, you take the boats out that you think are likely to take on water, so the ski boats, because they've got a low draft, and they're not made for choppy water or any waves or any wind. You take them out, they've got a flat hull to create the wake, whereas a normal, like a rib or a powerboat, has a V-shaped hull, creates less of a wake and it's more for cutting through waves. I digress. So what happened is we take the boats out at night, and then we wait for the storm to pass, and then in the morning we come down, we get the sign off from Ilias, the beach manager, and we're like, okay, cool, we'll put them back in, get the ski boats running, it's a good money maker, blah blah blah. It shouldn't take that long, but you do have to drive these 2 boats round to the port, and then there's a headland, there's our bay, and then just on the next bay is another port. It's not that far, it's probably like a 5-6 minute drive if you're going flat stick. And by flat stick I mean you got the accelerator all the way down flat, the stick flat stick. So yeah, you come round and it shouldn't be that long. So what happens is when you take these boats out, you take the BCD out, the British drug housing, which has got all the first aid kit in. You usually take the anchor out, you take the radios out, you take the fuel out, and I think what would happen is they'd got some seawater in the fuel line, which had then gone into the fuel filter, which had messed it up, so that had been changed. But what hadn't been done is it hadn't been reattached properly. So as this girl Izzy was coming round the headland, what had happened is there wasn't any fuel going to the engine, or there was like still salt water, can't quite remember, and that hadn't gone in. Unfortunately, she didn't have a radio, she didn't have a BCD, and she didn't have an anchor, and she didn't have any fucking food or any water. She had a buoyancy aid on, which is obviously ideal, and she was in a boat. But like, don't know if you've been to Greece, but as soon as you start getting further out, the wind starts picking up, especially when it's offshore, can get pretty choppy and pretty hectic. Obviously the Med is basically a big lake, so it's not that deep, but she was like on a one-way trip to Africa or Egypt. So as she's coming round, the boat's obviously stopped. She can't start it, she's got no form of rescue in the BCD, British drug housing, BDH, not BCD. In the BDH, the British drug housing, there's an anchor in there that's just like a water anchor. So you attach it to the bow, you throw it in, and it's like a kite, and the kite will drag the water and it will slow you down. Didn't have that. And we're all on the beach. I'm like suited and booted, ready to go for the day. You have this sea bit, not the sea bit. You have the wakeboarding part of the beach, and you have the water sports part of the beach. So you keep them separate, so they have their own areas on the water, and that's split by buoys that are out in the ocean. And I'm stood on the land with a few other guys, and Ilias, the beach manager, he was the Greek guy who ran the operation on the beach, so it's his liability, his responsibility. And he's like, Connor, he's like, when did Izzy go? I was like, maybe 20 minutes ago? He's like, she should be back by now. He's like, something's wrong. Gets the binoculars, looks out, and he's like, couple of minutes, he's like, all right, nothing really happens. He's like, get ready. So I put on my BA's already on, my buoyancy aid's already on, I've got a radio already on, I've got my water in my backpack, there's power boats literally about to go out, and he goes, she's right there. He's like, 11 o'clock, go, flat stick. And I just run, boom, 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 boom. I take the binoculars, boom, 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 bounce from the beach, bounce into the boat. These boats are ribs, so I literally just jump from the beach, bounce on the sponson, bounce on the sponson, bounce in, fucking put the kill cord on, turn the engine on, drop the engine. I don't know if they'd already been put out yet. No, I don't think they had. I think they were about to go out for the morning. So I literally jumped in, it was like Action Man style. Jimmy was also racing me, but I beat him, so I was like, let's go, little W there. Turn around, come out of the powerboat lane, and then I just flat stick it. I can't even see her at this point. He's at like 11 o'clock, so I'm looking out, I'm like 12 o'clock here, no, 1 o'clock, sorry, not 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock's there, and I'm going to 1 o'clock. Literally, I'm going flat stick. On the way out, Ilias was like, take another fuel, because I'm gonna have to tow this boat back. So I literally went in, grabbed another fuel, put it in, boom. So I'm going out with 2 full cans of fuel, literally just going boom, 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 5-6 minutes. Obviously, like after a few minutes, I think it was like 4 or 5 minutes, I see Izzy, but like you lose radio contact after a while because you're so far away. When I found her, it was choppy as fuck. She's got nothing. She's got like a can of Pringles and that's it. She sat in the boat, and I've never seen someone so fucking scared and fucking just nervous about what's about to happen. Obviously, she doesn't know if anyone's seen her. After a while, she might have seen me coming, and that will fucking make her feel a bit better. But it's getting choppy. It's boom, boom, boom. And if you've ever been in a big ski boat, you know the hole's so flat that it's not a nice noise. It's like heavy. There's other fucking shit going on. The weather isn't that great. It's windy. Like, it's the perfect storm for it to be an anxiety-filled day. So get to her, grab the boat, come alongside, face into wind, and then I get her into the boat, give her a hug, give her some water, give her a bit of a fucking cuddle, make sure she's all right, sit there for a minute, have a little chat, and then it's like radio in, she's all good. Obviously, again, this story, she didn't die and she would have ended up somewhere else, but like, you never know what could have happened. It could have been a fucking absolute shit show. It wasn't the best anyway. But then from there, I attached my tow line onto the bow. Because it is choppy, I have to fucking give it extra line, and then she has to sit in the boat as well. She can't even sit with me, which is the ideal. She has to steer it. Obviously you can just like bring up the it was an outboard, so you can bring up the outboard, but that's going to be pretty hectic, and you don't know what's going to happen. It might come like broadside, and then the water's going to come in, so she had to sit in it and go from there. It took 25 minutes maybe for us to get back in. It took so long because of the waves, and I'm towing on the boat, and she's just sat there cowering. I gave her my jacket, she's just there getting spray on her, and yeah, it was pretty hectic. Very Action Man-esque. But yeah, that was the second one with Izzy. And then the other day I go for a run, Dreamlands beach afterwards, to jump in the sea, and I'm at the beach, and you can always tell when it's too big. Like, I've been in the sea my whole life, so I'm pretty good at judging it. But what happens is when there's a big storm or there's a big swell, especially with a beach break, what will happen is the sand a lot of the time will change. Like, the topography of the sand will change, and it can become even more of a shallower break closer to the beach. So what that means is, like, when the waves break, when it comes into the shore, sometimes you'll get a second dump, and they'll be super steep, super quick, and they'll dump, and they'll be powerful as fuck. But with that, it has a wicked backwash, and it will rip you straight out. It's like a rip. If you don't know what you're doing, you can easily get pretty fucked in it. So I'm there with Fred. Fred goes in, and I probably spent 5-10 minutes like assessing the water. I was like, this is actually pretty fucking gnarly, and I'm gonna make sure if I do go in, it's in a lull, and I can just get wet, not get super sandy, not get washing machine, and I can run out. So I wait for 10 minutes, Fred gets out. Fred didn't struggle, but like took him for a minute to get out. And then I go in, bomb it straight out. I'm like, cool. There's no one else on the beach apart from me, Fred, this other guy, and then this family. I don't know where they're from. Maybe, I think they're from Asia somewhere. Husband, wife, and little kid. He must have been like 4 years old, 5 years old. And the dad and the little kid are playing in the backwash a little bit and just like getting swept by the water. Nothing crazy. But as they start to get more confident and the waves get bigger, they start like slipping in. And then all of a sudden the dad's like getting taken away by every single wave. He's trying to hold his kid on his shoulder. The kid's crying and the dad's getting pulled in. Obviously I'm looking at it like I'm gonna have to go get them in a minute, but I was like, maybe they can handle it, maybe they can handle it. And then a few more waves come in, they drag them back out even further, and they just keep on incrementally getting further and further and further out into like the crash zone of the shore dump. From there, next thing I see, I'm like, these guys are toast. The dad shouts, he's like, oh! So I'd literally just fucking gas it. I just go pop, 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 run into the ocean, grab the kid, put him on my shoulder, grab the dad's hand. Another guy runs in, so I fucking, his name was Talal from London, from Wimbledon. Nice guy, software developer. He was fasting for 4 days, so he was 4 days water fasting. He fucking gasses it as well. I got there, gave the old man to the guy. I run the kid out, give the kid to the mum. Broke my necklace in the commotion. Go back to the guy, he's like, thank you so much. I'm like, mate, like, you need to be careful, like, don't go out there again, because basically if we're not here, they would have got washed out. Like, the guy was on his last legs, didn't look like a good swimmer, don't even know if he could swim, didn't know what he was doing with the kid, they would have got pulled out. The wife wouldn't have really done anything. She was sat there oblivious. And then what happened was the waves would just go bam, pull them out a little bit. Then there'd be a bit of peace, and then they would have come out a couple meters if they're lucky, bam, another one. And then they would have got ripped straight out, and then they would have got banged in the crash zone, dumped in, maybe washed ashore if they're lucky, but probably just taken out. So yeah, that would be number 3. There's 15 minutes of me chatting about saving people's lives. Honestly, when I talk about it, I'm like, I love the ocean loves me. I seem to fucking do well in it. And also when I think about boats and think about these stories, it's like all the details come back, when normally none of the details come back in my stories. I guess they're not as important, or I don't care about them as much. But that is the 3 times I've saved people's lives in my life. So that's 1 every 10 years approximately. I'm 30 in like a month. So yeah, once every 10 years I seem to save someone's life, and I actually love it. It gives you a good kick and it gives you a good thrill, and it's nice just helping out, and it's nice just being a fucking like comfortable in the water, especially in big waves and stuff. So yeah, anyway, that was a good story. Maybe I'll keep on doing some more story times, but yeah, that's it from me. See you tomorrow. Much love. Peace out.